Hello, ladies, and welcome to the May podcast.
Hello. How is everyone?
Yeah, how are you doing?
God.
How the hell are you?
Good.
It's been ages.
Yeah.
It has, hasn't it? It really has felt like ages this time as well. Because I remember last time I was like, no, it doesn't feel like that long. But it does. It feels like forever, really. Like months since we last caught up.
We've unfortunately all just been super busy, and it just is what it is. Unfortunately, sometimes
Major life things happening, so it's just sort of taken over for a bit. But hopefully, we can get back into the swing of the podcast. And I mean,
we're still here for you guys.
Did you
We've still got shit to talk about.
Did you read how many people missed our podcast?
Yeah, there were at least three people.
I like it. That's very sweet, though. It's very, very sweet to hear that everybody obviously missed us for a month. So we're back with a vengeance, and we'd like to, crack on with it. So what games have you all been playing?
Absolutely. Cath? Okay, well, I just want to cue the music. Completed Valhalla.
Woohoo!
Oh, nice.
Finally! And what an anticlimax.
Yeah.
I don't know. Really weird game. I did enjoy it, but as we said in our previous podcast that actually published, it's really frustrating in times as well, because you go to particular areas and you can see there's something shiny on the map and you can't access it because you can only get it with a quest. But I guessed the ending before it happened, because it kind of seemed a bit obvious.
I knew what was going to happen just watching Kyle play it. I was like, I've played too many of these to not have an idea. And
also the bit outside of the Viking, like the stuff that happens sort of in like the present, didn't make any sense.
No.
I mean, I can't say
as soon as they pull you out of that reality, it spoils it.
I hate it.
Ruins it.
Yeah.
Upset.
I guess they're just setting up for the next one, but
it's the reason Kyle hates the Assassin's Creed games. He generally doesn't play them
stuff
because he doesn't like when you have to go do the modern shit. He only likes when you're actually in the anime.
Yeah, likewise. Yep. So completed that, and that can now go away and just be a pleasant memory. So also continuing on with Fallout 76.
Nice.
So it kind of, I've got a love-hate relationship with it, because when I play it I get really into it and just play it for hours, and then something happened that really pissed me off and I do kind of rage quit from it. But it's going very well. So I'm playing with Heidenstrom, and we've been streaming some of our gameplay. We're doing this sort of quest at the moment with a character called Beckett, who is a needy son of a bitch. Seriously, he's got like 12 things that he wants you to do. But that's all good. And the other thing is Far Cry 5. So that's my sort of new game after Valhalla. And it's brilliant. It's given me a real sort of longing to be out in the wilderness as well. So that's what I actually did last weekend. I went on a hike.
You've been on walks. I was going to say, you've been doing loads of walks.
Yeah. So that's me.
Cool. I've mostly been playing Planet Coaster. I can say that I've finished it, essentially.
Well done.
Yeah, I've opened all of the... I kind of have and I kind of haven't. I'm cheating a little bit. But I have finished it. I've done most of it. I've unlocked basically all the levels, and I've tried to get all the stars. And then I actually 100% love all of just the God Builder type games. I love that. And I tried to do the sandbox actually in the start of last week, and put about 8-10 hours into starting the sandbox. And the thing with building the theme park on the console rather than the PC is that the console limits what you can do based on the frame rate that it can handle. Now, obviously, we've got the PS5, so that's fine. So it can handle a lot more than the PS4.
Oh, sorry. You've got a PS5?
Yeah, I've got PS5.
Because you never mention that usually.
No. Actually, wasn't it you that asked me to do the unboxing?
We had to say it.
No. Anyway, PS5, awesome. But no, there's a counter basically. They've given it a name within the game based on some of the characters that are in there. But essentially, it tracks the frame rate. If it goes too high, it stops you. It stops you putting more things down in your park. So essentially, you can't build anymore.
That sounds really annoying.
It is really annoying because they've given you this enormous space to build in, and you can only fill like 1/5 of it before it decides that you can no longer play the fucking game in sandbox mode.
Oh god.
I was furious.
I bet you were.
Yeah.
Absolutely furious. So don't build a sandbox Planet Coaster on the console.
No,
For those of you that are listening, only do it on the PC. I don't know if it does that in Planet Zoo and all of those other Planet type games. I haven't tried to do the sandbox in Planet Zoo, so I guess I should check. It's probably the same. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks though.
That's a bit shit, yeah.
Well, at least you've completed it.
I've done it. I've pretty much done it. I've
Yeah.
got most of the stars. And it was a lot of fun. So, yeah, I mean, I took all month.
Yeah, excellent.
Playing that, so.
Mm.
I don't know what I'm going to do next. I've not played anything for about 3 or 4 days now, so there's a hole in my life.
Oh, well, I'm sure you'll find something on your list that you'll pick up.
How about you, Hannah?
Not been playing too much, to be honest. I've sort of hit that stage where my gaming mojo's like heading downhill again. I've spent quite a lot of time just on like Red Dead and sort of playing with others on that, which is always good fun. It's just super relaxing, looks dead good, so it's just an easy game to jump into.
That's the online one, isn't it? Red Dead Online that you've been playing.
Yeah, so I've been jumping on that, and I had a quick go on the Xbox last week, which I haven't done in a while.
Was that Gears and Beers?
No, I literally just jumped on the Zoo Tycoon that's on there. So
nice.
again, just super
Okay.
relaxing, and
Nice.
I like building a zoo. So, but yeah, mainly just sat around watching telly, not really doing a lot, to be honest.
What have you been watching?
Literally everything.
Same.
Everything that I've
Everything.
already watched
All the
before,
channels.
though, like it's never anything new. So I've already watched Dexter years
Oh, they're
ago,
they're
and I've
making
been
more
watching
Dexter.
that again.
More Dexter's coming.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I heard
we'll,
about
yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see.
I'm not holding out
how that
hopes
is.
for it. I'm
I'm
just saying
not.
it's coming.
I'm
I'm the
not.
middleman.
Bit of Sex and the City. What else have I been watching? I started watching The Walking Dead again, the early seasons, because they're actually okay. I'll stop watching it when it gets shit. So.
Oh, they're so
How far did you
depressing,
get? We stopped on season 10, I think.
Oh,
9?
Yeah, I
God,
think
we
I did as well.
stopped like. When did we stop? Season 7, maybe. We stopped
okay.
a long time
There-
ago.
There's
Like,
a
we're just
point where
really
it
awful.
goes down. Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
point where it goes down and gets really shit, and then it sort of comes back up again.
Yeah.
And then it sort of peters off. We're not sure what, like, what's the bad guy called? Negan. You're not sure what Negan's up to. And then it
I
kind
just
of-
got
want to say,
bored.
well remembered, by the way.
Yeah, see?
Remembering,
Can't remember
Wait,
anything.
funnily
Thank
enough,
you.
the season after it all kicks off with him and certain people die because of him, and that was
well,
like
that's unusual for The
scarred
Walking
me.
Dead.
We probably stopped watching it then. Like I just
Yeah.
totally lost interest. It felt like it
Yeah, it
needed
just gets
to end
too
a
bleak.
long time ago.
You need something cheerful, like Sex in the City, to sort of balance out with it.
Oh yeah, I can watch stuff like that all day.
Yeah.
We've been binging. Well, I have been binging Desperate Housewives at the moment. So I'm on season 6. It's getting shit.
It does just hit a point in maybe season 5 or something like that. It just got weird.
Yeah.
And it just makes no sense, and everything's just over the top, crazy. It's just not realistic anymore.
Yeah, there's a time jump from the end of season 4 to the start of season 5. 5 years passes, and then all the kids in the show are like teenagers now, and people are divorced, or weird shit is happening, and then they pick up weird habits, and they start snooping in people's houses or shoplifting, or it's just really weird shit that they started writing in because they've had 100 episodes and they've basically used all the material, and now they're like,
pretty much.
But I'm still gonna watch it to the end of season 8. So hey.
Okay. So I've been watching Line of Duty
Ooh.
on iPlayer.
Oh, nice.
Because there was a big hype about the final episode. This was like a month or so ago. And I just thought, there's a lot of fuss about this, so I'm going to check it out from season 1. And I'm now on season 4, and it's a really sort of tense is the only way I can describe it. So the characters are really good, and you're just really drawn into it. And so I watched the end of season 3 last night and just felt like really sort of tense and anxious when I went to bed because it was just so gripping.
Oh, nice. I like it. Actually, it's quite fun when TV or whatever it is, like a book that you're reading, it sinks you in so much that you start to think that it's your life. That happened to me after playing GTA 5. I'd go outside and be like, right, what car can I steal? Who can I run over?
Dangerous game.
I think in the original GTA you used to get points or money or something for running people over. I think it was really old back in the olden days. So my brain would just be thinking, all right, that person would give me that many points and I'll steal that car and go over there and do this. It's crazy. It's just mad.
Yeah, I've never played the GTA game.
You're missing out.
Yeah. Confession.
It's so good.
I'm just not sure about the just sort of random violence.
Oh God! If nothing else, at least play the story of GTA 5.
The story of GTA 5.
At least play
excellent.
that because that's so good.
It is excellent.
The characters in that are just like perfection.
Yeah. Trevor is probably my all-time favourite game character. He is.
Yeah, he's just a crazy bastard.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Superb. I was really enjoying seeing your cat on the screen behind you, Cath. You picked up your jumper.
I don't just do anything, like any movement at all, and it just sort of annoys her and she walks off. So she's sitting on my lap and I just sort of fidget very slightly, pisses her off and she's gone.
She's there, I can see it.
No, she jumped down.
No, she's gone. But yeah, GTA, do it. It's a must. GTA 5.
Well, it's not on the list, so
shit!
We'll have to wait till next year.
Alright.
I will definitely add it to next year's list.
We're doing this podcast and I've still completely forgotten that we can't just play any fucking random game. You can't just pick anything up and just
you know, like the massive restriction.
The thing that we signed up for.
Yeah, that thing. That's the reason why we're doing the podcast.
Hey, I could buy it for you. And really fuck you up.
No, you need to buy me Rust instead.
Yes, sorry, fair enough.
So just a bit of context. Rust came out today, the console edition, and I absolutely love Rust. It was one of my favourite games on the PC a couple of years ago. And when I saw, I think it was last year during E3, that there was a trailer for Rust on the consoles, I was so excited because I just really wanted to sort of relive all the memories of the fucking helicopter, terrifying helicopter, running away from that and going to, just causing mischief, shooting people and just having a really good time with it. So it came out on consoles today and I'm really tempted to get it. I'm really tempted to use my Joker and buy it, but I just can't. I just think it's a mistake to do it because we're not halfway through the year yet. I don't know what's coming out.
We are very close to halfway through. Yeah.
And I sort of did this a couple of years ago.
Like a week away.
It got halfway through the year. I was playing along with you, Shane. Got halfway through the year, and there was, I think they were advertising Black Desert Online for Xbox, and I thought, that looks amazing. It'd be just like Warcraft, which I loved. So I bought it, and I played it for couple of weeks, and then I kind of went, not really that good, and put it down, and then I just sort of regretted wasting my Joker on an impulse buy.
Oh. So you have experience of wasting the Joker. So
I guess you already
hesitant.
know you enjoy Rust, though, which is slightly different to a game that you think may be similar to something else, and then turns out to be disappointing.
But then I guess the thing that made it really good on PC was playing with my friends, and I know that it's cross-platform with PlayStation, and I'm sure there would be people in the Midlife Gamer community who would be playing it, but I just don't know if I'm ready to use my Joker.
I know, to be fair, I want to get... I said at the beginning I'd get the Legendary Edition of Mass Effect, because I just love the game so much, and I want to see it, I just want to see it look beautiful and crisp and new, and so I totally get where you're coming from. It's like, it's games we already own, it's sort of
on all the platforms.
It does feel a little bit wasted.
It does, yeah, and I know that Far Cry is coming out at some point as well. I mean, even though I'm playing Far Cry 5 at the moment, so I'm probably not going to be ready to jump into another Far Cry, but I don't know, I just think it's too soon. I think maybe like September is a good time to...
I was going to ask you that.
decide.
I was going to say,
let's see how...
When are you going to cave?
See how the summer goes.
Yeah. Just, to have an idea of what they're going to be releasing sort of in the build up to Christmas, because they always, I think, sort of late autumn, early winter, that's when some of the enormous, like, big titles come out, like the exciting ones, but I don't know what ones are coming out yet, so I don't want to regret buying a game too soon.
I've actually not even seen some of the games that have been coming out in the last few months.
No.
I've totally switched off to it. So
there hasn't been anything that interesting, to be honest. I don't think you've really missed anything.
I'm glad I haven't missed anything.
Yeah. So I've seen a few things. Like, there's a game called Returnal.
Oh, my
I've seen a
husband's
few.
just played that.
Yeah.
I've watched him play that. It's a good game. It looks like a good game if you're into that.
It looks okay, but it's not amazing. So I'm not tempted.
The graphics are really good. The graphics are really, really good.
Oh, okay.
It's not something
I
I'm
guess
bothered about.
Yeah, and then there was that Resident Evil Village, which looked brilliant, but then when I saw in Edge magazine, I saw the review, they only gave it 6 out of 10.
That's
So
disappointing.
it's not as good as I was imagining.
Well,
I mean, you might love it.
I might do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not meant to be very long. People have said maybe 8 or 9 hours max for the whole thing. So it's like, it's whether you feel like 8 or 9 hours is worth 50 quid or whatever. I mean, if it's 50 quid and it's like the best game ever, then fair enough, but I don't know.
It's not so much how much it costs. Again, it just comes down to the Joker card thing. It's not good enough to use the Joker for.
She'll do it. She'll cave.
I don't think I'd want to waste mine on something that's going to take me, like, obviously not literally 5 minutes to complete. Like, I want something that I can, like, the Mass Effect that's got 3 games in it, and each game can take me 60 plus hours, or however much time I want to spend on it. I can literally get the most experience out of my time.
Yeah, and I think that's probably a clever use of the Joker card as well, because you're actually getting 3 games and not just 1.
That's true. Because it's all in just the title Legendary Edition. I can have them all.
Yep.
I like it. I like that this has turned into value for money gaming.
Absolutely.
It's not
Some
about
top
the
advice
game.
coming here.
Screw the game. Which game am I going to play the longest?
Yeah, well, it's all about the tactics, really, isn't it?
I think gaming's always been about weighing up actual enjoyment, what you're interested in, and at the same time, where can I go online to get it like 10 quid cheaper?
Yeah, Shop 2.
CD
I mean,
keys.
that means that means
exactly.
a lot more now because games have hit like the £75 mark, which is just absurd.
Yeah.
It's just absurd that a game can cost that much money. When I swear it was only like 5 years ago, games were like 40 quid.
Yeah.
But you need to consider the amount of production that goes into the games because they look just so unbelievably amazing now.
Yeah.
And it's all motion capture and
Yeah.
voice acting. So I can understand why it would be more expensive, and I think I wouldn't have a problem paying more because I know that it's, you know, I understand why it's more.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I think it's a bit of a jump when you've got a new generation of consoles coming out and suddenly the game's £20
most
more
games
expensive.
now are probably, no matter what platform they're being made for, they're being made to sort of future-proof them, so they're all like 4K, and they're all, so it's like how they're making them's a lot more advanced for future technology when it becomes more affordable and accessible. Like, the majority of people don't have 4K monitors and don't have
This is true,
the next gen consoles yet, and
most of us don't live in Castle Haywood.
with crystal glasses and PS5s.
Wait till you see the new Castle Haywood.
Sorry, I meant Palace. I meant Palace.
No,
not Castle.
we're in the.
Sorry,
yeah,
Serena.
Just
Yeah, I'll get it right next time.
sort out the wording. Yeah, we are actually going through quite a stressful move at the moment, so I'm not going to say very much more about it, but that's it.
That's where your time's going.
That and the fucking sticky baby that I've got that doesn't leave me alone. She's I love it a bit. She's my life. But,
She's proper cute though.
She is.
She is. Yeah. And you wouldn't have it any other way, would you?
No, of course not. It would be silly to say yes to that. But
I mean, you could do if you wanted.
It's when you've had one who's super independent and she just has slept through the nights from like 10 weeks.
Yeah.
And then
It's kind of what I'm worried about.
Yeah, then you have another one who started to go that way and was fine until like 7.5 months, and so the last 4, 5, 6 weeks or whatever,
Yeah.
it's been an absolute nightmare. It's been really hard.
It's just a phase.
It's
Just a phase.
Flipped on its head. Agreed. I accept it's a phase. So, have we had any questions for this month?
Why aren't you drinking champagne from your posh glass? Although, this makes wonderful radio, but usually Madam is drinking
Can of
champagne out of her
Pepsi.
crystal
It's
flip
true.
glass, and today she's slumming it. She's got, I don't know, a can of pop or
I've got
something.
ghetto champagne, otherwise known as Pepsi Max.
Are they packed?
I'm not drinking anything today because my mother-in-law is coming over in the morning. So and also
Stay sober.
the kids are being returned around.
You
the same
can't.
time.
You honestly, you can't have a headache when that moment's about to happen. Like,
No. It's more about
Okay.
the kids. She's coming to help. She's being very sweet. So it's more having a hangover with the kids.
yeah.
Okay, ladies, it's time for community questions. So I'm gonna reverse the order of the questions just to mix it up a little bit.
Because it's the usual
so-
suspects.
We love you, Dave.
So yeah, the first question is from our friend Mr. Southall. He wants to know if you're okay, hun.
So I posted a question. Oh dear.
Oh,
Thanks, Dave. I posted a question and it sounded like I was obviously going insane because I didn't know how to word it.
Right, I'm going to read out your
Go
question.
for it.
Right, so we've got one game to move for the rest of our lives.
See?
We've got one game to move to for the rest of our lives. Where do we move? Basically, if we could transport our lives as they are now to live in a game world, which would it be? See, when the first bit of that question, I'm thinking just dance.
It's well confusing.
Because it's about moving, but it's about sort of living, like where you want to live rather than how you want to
Yeah,
live.
as in move how, like move yourself.
Yeah.
So So yeah, I completely understand why Dave thought I was insane.
Serena, you should answer your question. I think maybe you had someone in mind.
I actually didn't.
Oh, okay.
Strangely, I was just like, oh, let's live in a game world. I think it'd be fun to be one of like, I know we've talked about it already, but it would be quite fun to be one of the GTA 5 characters. So Trevor, it's like flipping between them. That would be nuts.
Yeah.
The way you can, obviously, while you're playing the game. As we've already said as well, the story in that game is immense. It's so much fun.
It's just so violent, though. Would you want to live in a world that is that violent?
As long as I didn't die. The whole the purpose, kind of the part of the game is that it's quite difficult to die as long as you know what you're doing. So as long as I had that sort of protection, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
And you get to just jump in cars and drive around like a maniac.
Just steal anything.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't know.
Hannah?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'd probably just say similar type of thing. So maybe even
Red Dead fantasy.
maybe even like a Red Dead or something like that. I mean, who doesn't love a campfire and hunting and it'd be an easy life. It'd be an easy life.
Yeah. See, the only thing I could think of, which is probably kind of lame, was The Sims, because I could have, I could have something like Palace Haywood and just fill it full of beautiful things and yeah, that's just very materialistic. I know, but
that's kind of the point of The Sims, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but everywhere else I can think of, it's just fraught with danger, and there are villains, and just it's tense. I want somewhere that's kind of nice. Just make sure
whoever's building your world for you doesn't like take
nice.
your ladder away while you're in your pool and
take the ladder away. Yeah, Serena, looking at you.
Imagine the little Sim writing in their diary at night. They took my ladder away again. They locked me.
I feel so abused.
They locked me in a room with 4 walls and no windows.
Okay, so our next question is from Adam Edwards. So, as you sit recording this show, the item directly to your right, within arm's reach, is your weapon in the zombie apocalypse. What is it?
Oh, you've got to love a zombie apocalypse.
Absolutely.
You've got to love the planning.
Although there are Romero zombies that you can quite easily run away from.
No, yeah.
You know, the other ones are more scary, but move fast. Well, I've got sort of a Halloween sugar skull goblet, and it would probably, it would break the minute I try and smack something on the head. It would break, but I would be doomed.
Take it.
Yeah.
I have a hole punch.
A hole puncher.
I have.
Like we're both doing.
I have a coaster.
Nice.
Which is like rubber as well, so it's not even solid.
We are equipped.
Like we're screwed.
Yeah, definitely don't come round to my house.
I've just got to hope that if I throw the hole punch, that it bounces off and comes straight back at me. It's the only way it's going to be a useful weapon. It's clearly never going to happen, but that was the only way I could see using that.
Yeah. So the next question is from Steve Gale. He wants to know what the first gaming system was that you used and the earliest game you remember playing. I presume on the said games console. So I'll go first for this one. So the first games console was the NES, and the first game I remember playing on that was Duck Hunt, which was fun for all of an hour and then just became really frustrating. Yep, that's me.
Mine was a Sega Mega Drive, and it was some like crappy American football game. I can't remember which one.
Oh, you're not talking about Madden, I hope.
Madden
was brilliant.
No idea. It was my dad's, so
I
just remember going on it.
Yeah.
My brother had loads of computers through my uncle when we were younger, essentially. I can't remember the first one I played on. Was it the Atari? Was the one with the square control?
Oh, the
square joystick, the square bottom and the two red buttons.
Okay.
Is that the Atari one? I'm not sure. I remember using that controller, joystick, whatever. The ones I have proper, real, solid memories of are the Commodore 64.
Well, I was going to say Commodore 64, but I wasn't sure if that counted as a gaming system.
Oh, okay. I'm sure it does.
But yeah, Commodore, absolutely Commodore 64.
Fair enough. We didn't really have consoles. It would have to be some sort of Atari thing. But I know I played on it, I just don't remember it, if that makes sense. I know the controller was there, I know we had it in the house. I remember holding it, but I don't recall playing the game, so I must have been too young.
But what is the first game that you remember playing then?
I don't, to be honest, so it's probably, we played a lot on
Not necessarily on that system, just generally.
My laptop looks like it's going to die, sorry, just give me 2 seconds. Sorry.
Yep, sure. Okay, I'll just quickly move on to the next question then. So Hannah, again from Steve Gale, he wants to know what was the biggest influence to you which led you to choose your current system of choice. I read that really badly. What was the biggest influence to you which led you to choose your current system of choice? So Xbox, PlayStation, PC, Switch, etc.
I mean, I've always had a PlayStation. I haven't always had an Xbox. At the time, it was actually the reason we got the PlayStation was so my dad could play Resident Evil.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Well, it was, but it was set up in my bedroom, and I was very young, and he'd be sat there playing Resident Evil while I'm trying to go to bed. Like, it's not fun.
Bit of a strange setup.
Yeah, I guess it was always. I've always felt like it was something that we did as a family, so sort of that's always stuck with me. I guess just with PlayStation, because that's what we had.
Oh, that's really nice.
So yeah, not necessarily game specific, but as an influence. But
yeah, but I think it's all about. He just wants to about the platform rather than the games. But yeah, I think that's a lovely reason, that because you've always played PlayStation sort of with your family, that you've sort of stayed playing on PlayStation as your main console. What about you, Serena?
I have remembered the game that we played quite a lot on the Commodore 64. It was called Impossible Mission.
Oh, right, I see.
And it was basically a puzzle game that you had to go, and it had essentially just sort of platform levels.
Is it platform?
Yeah, platform levels. But like not sort of moving across the screen. It was just the platforms were on the screen. You jump through them and then go through doors, and then you end up in the next one. And then each of the things you have to find things so that you can use in other rooms, and it was all kind of like. And then there was a voiceover, basically this really ominous voiceover that I remember some of the lines from it. It was, I think, when you died, it would be like, "Stay a while" or "Stay forever." And it was like it wouldn't let you leave. Basically, you had to keep solving these puzzles, and it was kind of. I vaguely remember there being robots, but I can't make them out. Anyway, so yeah, Commodore 64 is probably the one that I have the earliest memories of.
Ah, okay. So Steve was also asking about what is the biggest influence which led you to buy your current console of choice? Sorry, current system of choice, because that includes PCs as well.
I'm not sure.
I can tell you what it is, because your current console of choice is PlayStation 5, in case people weren't sure what it was. It's PlayStation 5. And the reason you bought it, the biggest influence is just because, they're very hard to come by, and I must have one of these devices.
No, I wish it was that. I wish it was that. I'm not sure, because I actually had. So I started obviously playing on the PC with my brother, and then quite quickly switched to consoles, and then we had some kids that we used to babysit when we were younger, who were about 5 or 6 years younger than us, and they would bring their GameCube over, and then that's, I think from that point forward we quickly switched to consoles.
Yeah, so you're saying that you're a bit of a Nintendo girl then?
I am. I mean, I'm looking at my Zelda Shield. It's just
I love your Zelda Shield.
But I've got a lot of Zelda crap just lying around. It's just everywhere. It's everywhere. But then I moved on to the Xbox, which I had for quite some time, because a friend of mine actually gave me his old Xbox. And then about 10 years ago I switched to PlayStation, and that's into that. So I've kind of just gone.
Yeah, whatever.
I have just moved through all the gaming systems, and I've settled with. And actually, the main reason I gave up the Xbox One is a really stupid reason, but I think it's valid. Just through accessibility, because the fucking controllers are massive, and I can't reach some of the top buttons.
Little hands.
Yeah, I've got teeny tiny hands. So I had to switch because I would get so many pains just on my through RSI, on my wrists.
Well, that's no good.
So I had to switch. I had to find a better way.
Well, that's the thing, because I mean, like, if we're talking now, I've got a PlayStation, I've got a PC, I've got an Xbox, I've got them all.
Yeah.
So I think
Steve. So what are you trying to suggest, Steve? That we're all skint and poor and could only afford one console?
I think we've all got all of the consoles.
There's no overriding influence to a specific system, other than we love gaming in general, so we'll play on any system. Gaming is the influence.
Yeah, it's not really about the platform of choice, it's more about the games
and the experience.
Like, what do I want to play, and who am I going to play them with?
Yes.
Because certain friends are on certain platforms that want to play certain
Yep.
games.
Yeah.
So multiple. That's my answer.
We don't discriminate. We own them all.
No. Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so Kev Atkinson asks. So, following on from Matthew Moore's question, which he was asking, which game you would happily erase from your memory. Kev wants to know what game would you happily erase from your memory and never revisit?
Like, just to literally get rid of the thought of that you've ever played it.
Yeah, sort of like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, but with video games
Nice.
rather than partners.
What's been that shit I want to
Basically,
forget
what's
I've
your shit
played?
game? Yeah, that's all it is. That's the question. What's the worst game you've ever played?
Oh my god, what's the worst game I've ever played?
Recently, all I can think of is a game called Greedfall. It was supposed to. It seemingly got really good reviews, but the fucking interface and the way you play the game is so awful. It is so bad. It is not intuitive in any fucking way whatsoever. Pressing the buttons on the controllers is extremely arduous. It doesn't play like any normal like Assassin's Creed type game, because that's the type of game it is. And I just had to stop. My poor husband bought me that game a couple of years ago and was like, "Oh, you really like this game? Here, have a go." And I started it, and within 15 minutes I was like, I can't fucking play this game.
Piece of shit.
And he took the controller off me and he had a go, and he was like, "Oh my god, you're right." he thought it was me, and I was like, "No, I'm telling you, this is really hard to play."
I'm just trying to think. There are a couple of sort of indie games that I've started playing, or before I started doing the Year of Shame challenge last year. I downloaded a bunch of indie games, and there were some that were pretty shit, so I think I played them for less than an hour. So there's one called Pikuniku. It's like these little blobs with really long legs, and it was just, I just thought, this is really crap. It's kind of like Guacamelee, but much worse, like really frustrating and just a bit shit. And then more recently than that, so I'm just sort of scrolling on my games list just to sort of remind myself what I've played. Slime Rancher, again, just what the fuck is this? Don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. It's a bit crap. I think I played it for 10 minutes.
It's interesting. The kind of question it is because it's not something we'd fall foul of nowadays. I think it's something that would have happened a long time ago, because now we know the type of games that we like to play and the genres we like to play.
Yeah, you can literally
like
just not buy something you're not interested in.
Exactly. It's rare that we're going to go completely out of our comfort zone and pick something that we just wouldn't normally play.
Yeah. So I just remember, like, when I was a kid and I had a Mega Drive, I saved up my pocket money for weeks and weeks and bought this game that I thought was going to be good because I think I'd read about it in a magazine, and it was just awful. It was so shit. It was some sort of shooting platformer, but just really clunky and bollocks. And yeah, that might have been the shittest game.
I like the description of the game as being bollocks. Oh well, mine's a game called Catherine.
Oh, I've heard of that one. The sexy.
Yeah, basically some
something.
dudes like having it off with two women, and it all gets really weird, and there's sheep in it, and it's just it's just wrong. Honestly, Google it. It's fucked up. It's weird. I didn't understand it at all. And they're both called Catherine or something. And yeah, I'd happily erase that and not have to play
More
it
to the
again.
point, why were you playing it?
It was, I think I'd just got it on Xbox after it was just like on offer in game or something when I had a 360, and as you do, you just buy a lot of cheap used games and see what the crack is, and
Fair enough.
I wish I hadn't. Which I hadn't fucking bothered.
Yeah, fair enough. You got any shit games you can think of, Serena?
No, that's
No.
like recent.
Are you any by the best?
No, not
Really?
even that. It's just the recently. I've been really boring. At least I've played 3 Assassin's Creed games in the last year and a half. So
That's quite a lot.
yeah, quite a lot of my time. Like about 300 or 400 hours has gone to Assassin's Creed in the last year and a half. So yeah.
A bit of a fangirl.
Quite boring, like that.
Oh, they're very good games though. I mean, yeah, I always really enjoyed Assassin's Creed.
They're a bit samey, but
They
are
are,
fun.
yeah.
They are fun. I'm actually, you know what I want out of an Assassin's Creed game? I want there to be
More murder?
Yes, but like female murder, if that makes sense. Like not women murdering women, just women being murderers. That's what I want.
Yes,
there must be, because I was thinking about it, and what they've basically done through the storylines is found places in time where there's been a lot of murder or horrific things have happened, and I'm thinking, if you look in the history books, there must be some weird. It doesn't even have to be weird, but there'll be some sort of area or region or part of the world where there's a female tribe, and it's very matriarchal. And you could run a story around that. Why, I'm just thinking they can push it.
They're probably worried about doing that because they don't want to lose their sort of male gamers that are offended by female characters. And there are, they might no one in this community is like that, but there are these weird people out there that get offended over stuff like that.
Yeah. I think for now they could really expand, and they could try and find female-led stories that actually happened in real life, or are out there as myths or stories or legends. I think we can.
Well, Boda Sayer.
Yeah.
Make a game on her.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely even got Joan of Arc. Don't even necessarily have to be like murderers, just like
brave women of the past.
Yeah, it could be a heroic story, it could be a heroic journey.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, just my 2 cents on that. I think we've kind of had enough with them just making the stories that exist and then just throwing in a female character just because. Everybody gets up in arms now, which is, rightly so, don't get me wrong, but I'd rather have a female-centric story that actually makes sense.
Yeah, rather than feel
Yeah.
forced because they have to tick a box.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm. Right then, Daniel Payne asks, have you ever had an animal companion in a game who you wish you could magic into existence?
If I had to, it would probably be a dragon of some sort from,
Okay.
I don't know, Elder Scrolls or Skyrim or whatever.
Oh, yeah, wow, that'd be cool.
Yeah, if I had to. I don't know if they end up being companions because I haven't played past, like, I don't know, level 15 or something in that game. But I don't know how far that game goes, but I would definitely choose that.
See, I quite like my little cat friend from Monster Hunter that I get to dress up.
Oh, that's nice.
Or you'd probably want to take like Yoshi from Mario.
Yeah.
He'd be great. He'd be great
He's so super cute.
I'd give him to my daughter and be like, all right, see you off to school.
Yeah, that's really cute. So I've never thought about that before, wishing an animal companion into existence, but just for the fun of it, I would wish a Murloc companion into existence,
Nice.
just to listen to it gurgle the whole time.
Yeah, yeah, that's cute.
Right, so got a couple of more questions from Dave Southall here. So let me see. I'll just pick one of them rather than three so that I can read the rest of the questions. But yeah, thank you, Dave, for all of the questions. I think this one's quite a good one. So what's the most ridiculous related bit of tat, like game related bit of tat you've ever bought?
Ridiculous. It has to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
As in-
No,
I mean,
ridiculous.
Mine's not ridiculous. It's more like it. I feel like they wanted it to have a function, but just made it wrong. So,
Okay, this sounds intriguing.
so for
Tell us more.
Xbox 360, the absolutely shocking chat pad that you plugged into the bottom
Oh, that keyboard
with
thing.
the keys that were like barely visible. How were you supposed to type on, like, how was a grown man supposed to type anything on a full keyboard the size of like half a phone? Like, no.
Yeah.
So I unfortunately did invest in one and ended up just doing what we
yeah, so
still
did
do
I,
now
yeah.
and just move across the on-screen keyboard to type things. So it was a
Yeah.
complete waste of money. I think it could have been designed better, similar to how you'd text on a phone that used to have buttons where you'd have your 3 letters on each key.
I don't
That
know.
kind of thing would have
Never liked
worked
those
better
ones.
than tiny little letters that you can barely read.
Yeah. What about you, Serena? What's your most ridiculous game-related bit of tat?
I have a Pokemon ball, yeah,
Nice.
that has a stand on it, a tiny little stand, which lights up. You can press buttons on it and it lights the ball up. But it's made of glass, so
Okay.
you can't throw it.
No, we don't want to do that.
Because you'll smash
That'd be
it.
a mistake.
Yeah, you'll smash
Yeah.
it. So, in the design of the thing, it looks really nice, but functionality, it's not a Pokeball in that sense. You can't play with it.
No.
Yeah, that's probably. I mean, we got a lot of crap in this house, but that's game related. There's just stuff
Yeah.
everywhere. How about you?
Yeah. The most ridiculous thing. Possibly I mean, you kind of have to have it to play the game, but there's a game on my list that's about spaceships or something. I can't remember what it's called. In fact, I can just look here and tell you what it's called. There's my game set. Starlink. So with Starlink, you have to buy a silly spaceship, and it's got like an attachment, so you clip your controller
God.
into the spaceship, and then the spaceship appears on the screen, and then you can actually pull the weapons off of the bits, like the end of wings, and it
Oh my
knows
God.
which weapon you've got and what person you've got inside the spaceship to play the game. So
You sound like a Starlink saleswoman.
it's yeah. So the reason I've got this, and I think I did actually pay full price for it as well, was because when I went to EGX, the game was there, and I played a boss level, and it sort of reminded me of Warcraft a little bit, and I just thought, oh, this looks great. And then I just ended up with this child's toy that I have to attach to my controller to play it, and it's really embarrassing.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah,
You definitely
so there we
need
go.
to take a picture of that and then post it when we release the
I
podcast.
think you need to play that game.
For context.
And, yeah.
Well, it is on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it makes the controller
Start streaming.
uncomfortable because it's heavy. Streaming.
Get it
yeah.
on. Get it on.
Okay, so our final question from Matthew Moore. What game would you happily erase from your memory to be able to have that first time playing experience again? That's a really nice question.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Mm. So I don't know, I think maybe for me it would be something like Fable 2, because that's such a beautiful, charming game, and I've got so many fond memories of it that it would be lovely to play that again. Although, saying that, if I played it now, I might be disappointed with the graphics of it, because it's a 360 game, and you know there are probably many things that don't really look that good these days, but yeah, when I first played it, I just thought it was really, really nice, and you get to buy a house, and yeah,
Aw.
lots of houses in fact, which I like.
I'm not sure. There's quite a few games that I've really, really enjoyed playing.
Mm.
So I don't really know which one comes top. I think the one that really sort of hit me as like, oh my god, this gameplay is fantastic. And I'm so invested in the story and the characters. Was probably Last of Us, the first one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I was so excited to play the second one, and it just didn't live up to the hype.
Oh, that's a shame.
It did and it didn't.
A lot of people
different
have
ways.
said that.
A lot of different ways.
Yeah. Well, I think there was a character in particular that people were really, really unhappy about.
Yes,
Like a female character, I can't remember the name.
Abby.
Right.
She's the main.
Yeah.
Outside of Ellie, she's the main character.
Yeah.
But no, her story arc is actually quite compelling. When you first start playing as her, you're like, really? You don't enjoy it. And then as you go through and you learn more about what makes Abby's life tick and the people around her and why she is the way she is, actually you start, like your heart warms to her basically, and you're like, oh my god,
Yeah.
I actually really love playing this game like this with this character. And then you switch back to Ellie, who is the heroine of the game, and you're like, I kind of don't like you anymore. Like it really fucks with you.
She's not.
It really fucks with you.
You can't. You can't get behind what she's
Yeah,
doing or
you're
why.
like, I don't believe in you
No.
anymore.
No.
I don't believe in your motivations, and I don't
No.
believe in why you. Even though there is such a major plot point driving her story,
Yeah.
and the
You don't
major plot point
sympathise with her character.
breaks your heart. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
the sympathy. You do lose it. You do lose it. So there is. The game does that. The second game as well, but the first game, just the relationship between Joel and Ellie was so moving.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so moving.
It's one of
And-
my favourites.
And even though there's a huge age gap, they did it in such a way that it never seemed salacious or weird or like.
But they
Yeah,
were
yeah.
romantically
No,
involved,
no, of
weren't
course
they? It
not.
was like
Not
a
at all.
paternal
No, it
thing,
was
yeah.
a father-daughter bond, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But they had done it in such a way that it was always seemingly a father-daughter bond, and it never seemed like
Not
anything
creepy.
It
else.
never
Yeah.
turned weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Hannah, I can tell you what yours is.
Really?
In fact, it's one of two. So it's either The Witcher or it's Mass Effect 1, 2, or 3.
You would be wrong.
Oh,
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's quite a simple one actually, and it was done across a few parts, but I just enjoyed it that much
Super Mario Brothers.
No, it's the Telltale Games, The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead. Oh my god.
And I honestly
right, okay.
enjoyed that all the way through so much that
Oh, they're brilliant, those games.
I can't play it again because
you know what happens.
I know what choices I'd be drawn to make and things like that. I'd love to go back and sort of be able to make those decisions again fresh without knowing the consequence of them. So it's like, but the Telltale version of The Walking Dead, like the very first one they made, was just brilliant.
Yeah, that sort of reminds me of the Life is Strange. So the first one, which I think is the best one, I absolutely love that game. I didn't think I was going to because it's about like silly little schoolgirls.
Yeah.
But actually, it was such a good game, and I got really into it. And absolutely loved it, and would it be great to sort of replay that, not knowing anything about the characters or the story or anything. So yeah, I'm going to answer that question twice.
That's alright. I think that's fair. Another game I think I would want to really play again is Uncharted 4.
Ah, right.
I really fell in love with that game for a whole host of reasons. And when it came to an end at the end, I was just like, oh, are they going to make another one now? Oh, I'm so sad.
Yeah.
Was that the last one, the Uncharted 4?
The latest one. But it was such a long time ago now that... But I think there's going to be a movie out before the next game comes out.
Well, I keep hearing rumours about that. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's ever going to materialise.
No, it should do, because they've cast Tom Holland. He's definitely in it. It's, There's, I think, set photos have even been released, so they're doing it.
Okay, well, yeah, hopefully it'll be a decent movie and not disappointing.
Your
like
kitty's
some
back!
Games.
I can see your kitty again!
Yeah, she's being naughty. Oh, hang on, she's stealing food. Hang on. So that's all the questions for this month. So thank you everybody who asked some questions.
Yeah, it was fun.
They were really good, really interesting.
Definitely.
I was thinking again.
Yes.
They're basically telling us don't ever miss a podcast ever again.
Don't screw up
Stop
doing the thing, Cath.
No, it's fine. Well, I think if no one has anything else to add, we are gonna see you next time.
I've got one more thing.
Oh, forget it.
So
we'll just cut that.
I just want to mention that on next month's podcast, we're going to have a very special guest joining us she's going to be interviewed basically. She's probably not going to be joining us, but an opportunity has presented itself to have a chat with a sort of a lady who's quite well known in the streaming world of video games. She's going to answer a few questions about Hero of Shame. So that's going to be some really interesting listening to her. Anyway, as you were.
Well, if no one else has anything to add, we will.
Oh yeah, sorry. What?
We will call it quits and see you next time.
Yeah, bye everybody. Thank you.